Welcome to the Carousel, where we discuss video games, movies, sometimes comic books, and whatever other awful things these conversations lead to. I am John, also MusiM. With me, I have Jake.
Hello. So it is week 4 of the NFL preseason, which means that none of the starters start the game. They don't want to risk them getting injured or anything. The Bears are playing the Browns, which are arguably the two worst teams in the league. None of their starters playing. It is now knocking on midway through the second quarter with a score of 0-0. This shit is riveting. For those of you not watching the stream, John just pulled a toy gun out and put it in his mouth.
Yeah, no, that's, are we done? You were talking about, Druid Bears, I hope, and not something else, right?
Yes, they're all shape-shifted.
Okay.
So, like, if the Bears don't work, like, they need to be quicker, they can go into Druid form, cast a couple of spells, flip over to Cat,
Yeah, see, that's all you need to do to get sports to work for me,
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyway. What are we talking about? We're talking about Xbox One game for gold, right? So,
if you want to phrase it that way.
yeah, let's just go into that. So the Xbox games for gold for September 2017. On the Xbox One, we have Trials Fusion will be available from August 16th to September 15th. Trials is the extreme bike game that's also really, I guess, absurd in presentation and such, but it's real popular.
I feel like we talked about this last show. Was this on PS4 last month, maybe?
I don't remember. I remember getting shit because I thought it was a bicycle instead of a motorcycle. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah, I had to correct you guys, and then you did it again just now. So I feel like we did talk about it, and none of it stuck.
I don't know. Well, I know it's a motorbike or a bicycle. I don't know. Whatever. It has wheels, maybe an engine. Who cares?
It's very fun.
Then Forza Motorsport 5 Game of the Year Edition from September 1st through the 30th. Since this is not Horizon, this is just the racing sim, which immediately makes me less interested in it.
So this is all on tracks. This is pick a race, start the race.
Correct.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I would actually get more into that. I don't, I'm on open world burnout, so.
Well, and I mean, I would play an open world Burnout game, but they just, they aren't making them anymore. But, yeah, Motorsport, my understanding is the Motorsport ones are supposed to have, like the Horizon stuff has things where you can mod your car, like specs and whatnot. I think from what I've read online, Motorsport is supposed to have a little better version of that.
Okay, so this is more the Gran Turismo, and Horizon's the more Grand Theft Auto. Except you never leave the car.
You never leave the car, you never shoot anyone, you just kind of drive around and listen to Euro Techno and race, so...
yeah, but it's got a Warthog in it.
Yeah?
That's got a gun. Does the Warthog have a gun in the back in Forza?
I don't know, I never drive it, because it's crap to drive. I honestly don't think so. I think it's just they make it look like a real vehicle, so it doesn't 100% look like the Warthog in my opinion. But whatever.
So my analogy is falling apart in every way possible, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't. I think Grand Theft Auto was really a bad route to go. Like
I liked the alliteration. Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto, and I went down the path, and it was a mistake, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. I might be being too nitpicky. No metaphor is perfect. But, okay. Oxenfree is going to be available from September 16th to the 15th. I highly, highly recommend everyone go and get this and play it. You can get through the game in, I think, about 4 hours. It might be 6.
Could you re-explain for the listeners, not me, totally not me, could you re-explain what this game is?
So Oxenfree is kind of a 2D side-scrolling point-and-click adventure style game where you're a bunch of kids that go out to an island to kind of have a party, and then some crazy shit starts happening.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a Kentucky Route Zero type interface thing?
I've never
Only
played
not
that,
as oddball.
so I can't compare it.
Okay.
But like basically what happens, you'll have a character talk to you, and they'll give you dialogue options to interrupt them, and it really kind of transitions through the dialogue pretty seamless. You can wait for them to finish and find out additional information, and there's a variety of kind of endings and relationship statuses that can change between your friends and such by the end of the game, depending on what you do and how you talk to people. But it's got a neat art style to it. It's almost like you'd probably throw it in the bucket with those old pixely looking games. I forget what we call them now.
Really? Okay, it looked almost more like papercraft-ish to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just the shapes, everything. Does it have voice acting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whole thing's voice acted. Or at least all the character dialogue is, but I'm sure there's some stuff that isn't. But like one of the mechanics in the game is you have a radio that can kind of change reality if you turn it into the right frequency kind of thing.
Okay.
Like they got some like weird cool shit, but it's a very simple game. It's pretty straight and to the point. I liked it a lot. I recommend it. And TVGP Boston loves the game, and they did a spoiler cast on it. I don't remember when. Sometime in the last 3 months they did it, but yeah.
Does not sound like a game I would enjoy at all, but I'm glad everyone else is loving it.
I don't know that it's everyone else, but I am definitely in the camp of I like it and I think you should try it. But
when you say that, you don't mean me personally.
I don't know. Have you played Life is Strange yet?
No, I haven't. But that's actually the route I was thinking. Is that the people who liked Life is Strange a ton? This seems like that would be up their alley. About the closest I get to that kind of thing is probably Until Dawn, which I really liked. I'm going to play that again.
Yeah, I would think that there would be a lot of crossover between those audiences, just in the characters and gameplay style. But I think a lot of people kind of go for Life is Strange as kind of a rallying flag for gay pride, and I don't know that they have a lot of that in Oxenfree, so you may be disappointed on that front if you're hoping for like a strong like homosexual protagonist or something. But
I didn't know that was part of Life is Strange at all.
Yeah, a lot of it is, well, I don't know. You have to play the game.
Okay.
But there's some of that in there, and there's a lot of, it doesn't spell things out, so it's a lot up to player interpretation. But I think there's definitely something there, and a lot of other people do too. But so for Xbox 360, so we have Hydro Thunder Hurricane from September 1st through the 15th. So
Fuck yes.
Get your quarters ready. And
I actually already owned this. I think I paid $10 for it.
Oh.
It's I think it was after the sort of XBLA Summer of Arcade type stuff, but it was a downloadable game. It was the arcade boat racing game that was. Remember the machines being pretty big, like it might have been a sit down. Very very fun. Just wacky stuff. Happens in the levels. You'll have a like in I want to say the first level, you're going through. God, I forget the name of it, but it's in like the American Southwest, and there's this canyon that's flooded for some reason, and you and all these other turbo rocket powered boats are racing through. Is it Lake Placid? That doesn't sound right. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, as you're flying through here at 240 miles an hour, you'll have a tour boat come sailing up past you and will pass you. And then a helicopter will come by and drop depth charges into the raceway, and that'll blow the tour boat out of the screen, and it's super fun. That's a no-brainer, I think, for anyone who's still. Well, actually, it's got to be Xbox One compatible if they're putting it on this, right?
I hope, yeah.
Oh, of course it is. I've played it like 3 months ago, so yes, pick that up, play it.
So, real quick, did you see that? And this is a couple weeks old news, so a lot of people will already know and have seen what I'm talking about. Did you see that Fishing Planet trailer?
What? No.
Okay, so after this cast, you need to go look up this trailer. It is a trailer for a fishing game, but they have this fucking metal song playing behind it, and like they cut it in this, like they really go for the fucking gold with this trailer. Like it's pretty funny. But
Lake Powell, by the way, is the one I was thinking of.
What was it?
Lake Powell.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'll post a link to that in somewhere. Or I guess I could do it in our chat. Well, whatever. I'll mess with that after the cast. So, and then also Battlefield 3 from September 16th through the 30th. So.
Okay.
Do you know if they're like if it's all-in-one thing where they give you all the DLC or what?
I have no idea. It would be kind of shady if they just gave you the base game for a multiplayer game and then everyone else had all this DLC. Yeah. So all the people who got it with gold are just sort of segmented off, and you get that weird player-based split between expansion maps and other maps. And I would assume that they wouldn't do that, but I've not looked it up.
How active is Battlefield 3 anymore? Like, they came out with Battlefield 4, right? Don't most of those games just kind of stop?
I'm sorry. I pulled up the trailer. It's got this ridiculous summer blockbuster, like The Mummy, in the background, just big drums and like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's good. Like the whole trailer's like it makes me want to play a stupid fishing game. I hate fishing. I hate fishing in real life. I don't want to play a virtual fishing.
Somehow fishing manages to make killing something boring. I personally would say the same thing about the Battlefield games. Now this one's 2 back at this point, remember, because we got Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. And I think those both have pretty lush, if that's the right word, player bases. I mean, I think a lot of people are still pretty active with those.
I mean, that's a good point. Battlefield 1 was super popular. I forgot about it. I kind of meant to try and get a copy to play that single-player campaign everyone kept talking about, but just never got around to it.
I think it's like Call of Duty, where they keep putting these things out, and people sort of find the one that speaks to them, and then they get off the train, and that's that. I kind of feel like that's how those fan bases work. I could be full of shit.
You might be. I mean, they have that the zombies mode, and then the player campaign that's always 4 to 6 hours, and then the big multiplayer section, and it seems like they had another aspect to those games too. But I mean, they always
the zombies is just Call of Duty, right?
Probably. I have no idea. They're the same to me. I'm not.
Yeah,
we need Randy on here. He plays these games.
I think of them interchangeably. They're actually vastly different games, but the sort of I don't do multiplayer only stuff. I kind of got in a Rocket League for a little bit, and then that fell off. So yeah, they're not up my alley, so I don't really pay too much attention to them. So speaking of stuff I don't pay attention to, there's a lineup for PS Plus games for September. To start with, we have Hataful Boyfriend, which is the pigeon dating simulator that a lot of you will remember.
Yeah, no one ever said anything that made me want to play that game. Like, I have a real hard time with visual novels as is, so, like the premise did not do anything for me. But it's supposed to be really good for people who like that stuff.
People say that. I look at it as, because didn't it kind of come out right in that sort of I Am Bread goat simulator time frame where people were just putting it out because they knew it would get streamed and get a bunch of sales? I feel like it was one of those, but I don't know.
I think it came out in the last year or so, didn't it?
Really? I mean, it doesn't sound preposterous.
Like, it either came out in January... Okay, wait. What? This game came out in 2011? I feel like a crazy person.
Wait.
That can't be right.
Okay, that feels way too long ago. Maybe it was in beta for a while?
Are there multiple versions of this game?
Well, it's been out on PC for a while.
Wow. So it came out for PS4 and PS Vita in 2015 in July, so I am way the fuck off.
Okay.
But I guess it originally came out in Japan as a free version in 2011.
Man, some people have been fucking pigeons for 5-6 years already.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like there's a lot to these, I mean, it's a picture with a text box, and it changes pictures when things happen. Like, occasionally there might be a GIF for animation. So I guess it wouldn't be that hard to string something like that along and eventually get it a large platform release. But
Turn it into an actual thing. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm glad people found something weird they like, though. I'm all about that.
Yeah, people seem to dig it, and I it's too weird for me to even try to latch onto to start with. Like, if it was a normal dating sim, I would already be in a place where I was like, this feels creepy to me. Like, everyone that I've heard who played it really loves, was it Daddy Simulator, Daddy Dating Simulator? It just came out like last month.
Yeah. The gay dad dating thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to super love that, and it seems, that's about as normal. If in 2017, being gay is kind of not weird anymore. But saying that as a straight guy, I can't speak to that personally. But the zeitgeist seems to be like that's not weird. Being gay used to be in the same pool or bucket as dating pigeons, because that was always the argument. You can marry my dog. That's not the case anymore. So even that being a normal thing that people said they loved and sounded funny and the writing was good, even then I'm like, that kind of gameplay just turns me off so much that I can't get on board.
I'm not going to say I don't like dating simulators. Okay,
I
take
don't
two.
like dating similars.
Oh, geez, why did you? No, that was not. I don't like.
Everybody's got a type, dude.
I typically don't like dating simulators unless they're made by BioWare, like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Those are my types of dating simulators.
Yeah, none of them are my thing. The next thing that is probably not going to be my thing is Strike Vector EX. I guess this was a...
Did you skip Infamous?
I did. I'm getting back to it.
Okay.
I guess this is like, it's a aerial combat sort of thing in the future. It's all in planes. And it looks like it started as a multiplayer-only thing, and they went back in at some point and added a single-player campaign. Maybe the planes can turn into mechs, because they look like they're all jets, like it's kind of like Warhawk in space or something. But in the trailer I watched, there's times when it looks like you're in a turret, like you're in a floating turret, so I don't know if maybe they can hover or something.
Oh, wait, no, this is, me and Scott were excited about this a long time ago. These are, yeah, I'm pretty sure these all turn into mechs. It's supposed to be a super fast, like, jet mech shooter game, and I don't know how it turned out or if it's any good, and I kind of thought it was a free-to-play, like, multiplayer game, but maybe I'm completely wrong? Or maybe they made a single-player mission for it? I don't know.
For the trailer I watched, it looks like that might be how it started out. Okay. And that, like, maybe they went in and added a campaign like they did in Dota 2.
I might check this out, like, because I was curious. Well, if I find time, I might check this out. I've been not doing good at the playing games that aren't Marvel Puzzle Quest lately, so...
The art really does kind of, and sort of the style looks like it's up your alley.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Then we have We Are Doomed, which looks like a Geometry Wars-ish clone, and also a seizure simulator. It's all kinds of pinks and yellows and moves super quick and stuff's popping in. It's a twin-stick shooter. Your mileage may vary. If you like that stuff and you like Easter vomiting onto your TV, there you go. I forgot to mention Hateful Boyfriend's also coming out. It's going to be for Vita as well. So then we have what I'm actually super stoked for, which is the full Infamous Second Son. What was the sort of standalone DLC that came out afterwards?
It's about one of the supporting characters in the game.
Yeah, like you get Light or something, right?
In the main game...
Last Light?
That might be it. It's been a long time. The DLC for it is extremely good, I think. But it
was out... It was part of one of the first PS Plus months that I was on, and I really liked it, so I'm very excited to be able to play the full game.
Well,
you loved it, right?
Yeah, I'm a big Infamous fan. I think Second Son is the weakest entry, unfortunately. I still think it's a good game, but I think it's kind of barren in terms of things to do inside the game. But yeah, the chick you play in Last Light, like the main character in Second Son gets powers of people, other people around him. I think he's like Rogue or something like that, where he just touches someone and gets it. But she, or maybe he doesn't even. Man, it's been too long. I'm getting it wrong. I know.
I want to say there's like 4 major classes of powers that you get that you can switch between, probably via D-pad push or something.
Yeah, I think you get 3, but it might be 4. But yeah,
Like electric and then light or neon or something, right?
yeah, and hers were the best power set that you got. So that's probably also contribute. Like she was probably the best character in the game and had the best power set. So I feel like it was a no-brainer giving her the DLC. But I think that game's it's still I think a good game. I think Infamous 1 and 2 are still better, but this one is definitely better looking. And you can probably get through the main campaign in, I don't know, 12 hours, 15 hours, something like that. Most of the Infamous games are about 20, I think. And I think this one was slightly shorter.
So the first one came out, it was like almost a PS3 launch game, right? And it sort of, you were the Cole something.
Yeah.
Cole Electric dude.
Yeah.
Was the first sort of, oh God, what are they called? Superpowered person. I forget what their little name for them is. How many years after that in the story is this taking place? Because it seems like these fuckers are all over the place now.
Yeah, they, well, I guess I can kind of spoil okay, so spoilers for the end of Infamous 2, right? This is a PS2 game, PS3 game, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong. Probably what's wrong with me every night. This is what's wrong with me now. So it, that game at this point is probably close to a decade old. But at the end of Infamous 2, you are basically presented with a choice where you can basically kill all the humans and stay alive, or kill all the superpowered people.
Like everywhere?
That was the implication in Infamous 2.
Okay, but if these people are all over the place, I guess the canon ending is kill all people.
Well, what they did is they said, well, most people chose the kill all superpowered people, so Cole is dead in Infamous Second Son. But they're still superpowered people, right? So basically, it caused a big catastrophe in the world, and he killed, I guess, most I don't know. I think they just started popping up again, honestly. But it takes place like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm talking out my ass. I don't know how long.
Okay, so they're super weeds.
I haven't played this game since it came out, for PS4. I mean, it was a near launch game for PS4. I really like those games, and I wouldn't actually mind playing Infamous 1 and 2 again, but yeah.
Yeah, I always remember the traversal being very fun.
Yeah.
And I hope it still is, because I remember I'm going to keep calling it Last Light, even though that's probably wrong. It was starting to get a little long in the tooth, so I'm hoping that the full version of the game, even though it's not like they changed the engine for the DLC, I'm hoping that it's a little better constructed so you can slide around on more wires and stuff.
It is Infamous Last Light, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So,
So that seems like you got the 2 big takeaways this month, I think, are that, and then, of course, Hydro Thunder. So Vita's getting Hata Boyfriend, but like I said, and then We Are Doomed, the seizure game, is going over there as well. And then they're doing a PSVR game this month called Riggs, which is mech fighting. Yeah, okay. If you have a PSVR, you've been waiting since what, Resident Evil 7 to have something to play on it? So yeah, play that. It's stuff. That's what's free this month.
Okay. So I will move aside. Well, and I really want to, on PSVR, I really want to play that Voltron VR game, but $500, man.
I really think they need to hit that hard, like they did with the Resident Evil box art, where they did the VIL and made that the 7. They need to do that here and make super big V, super big R, and then Alt and then on are super small.
I think they might have done that, honestly.
They better have.
It's either that or Givinator made that same joke on social media, and I'm just counting it as truth. But
Well, I made it in the Discord last night.
was that it? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You get to play as the most annoying member of Voltron. Well, okay, maybe he's not as annoying as Hunk, but doesn't matter. But anyway.
Well, they all start with a baseline annoying level of like 82, so it's not like there's a big swath to get through there.
I'd be cool with being either Pidge, Keith, or Shinji. Shinji? Is that his name? That can't be his name. Whatever, the Black Lion guy. But anyway. So, releases. On September 5th, this is the one everyone's been waiting for, that everyone's just dying at the mouth for. They're like, why the fuck hasn't this been released yet? And that is Knack 2.
I'm going to get my PS Pro. I want Knack 2 to just be in the most smooth, wonderful, beautiful glory. God, I sounded like Trump there. I want it to look as good as it possibly can, because this is Knack 2, motherfuckers.
So, they never even gave us Knack 1 on PS Plus, did they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
If they did, it would have been before I jumped on the PS4 bandwagon.
Okay, so then September 6th is Destiny 2 for the PS4 and Xbox. PC will be at a later date on October 24th.
It's a big gap.
Yeah, a lot of people real excited about this game. So I hope it doesn't let them down, because I'm unfortunately not going to be getting it, because time, money equals that. That's just not on my list of things to get. So
if Randy were here, I bet we would have 10 to 15 minutes of Destiny 2 hype. You're not going to get it from me.
You say that like he just talks a lot about everything else, and then when he's interested, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm really interested in that."
Looks good. I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, he gives you like 2 sentences. Okay,
then, I'm not ready. I got this weird bug up my ass that I don't know. I've just been itching to play WoW again, so I re-upped my subscription for a month, and I think I played it a good chunk of Saturday, and I was like, I don't think I need to ever play an MMO again. This just isn't fun anymore. And granted, I was doing everything solo. I wasn't grouping up for queues and stuff because I didn't buy the most recent expansion, so really you're just getting people speed running through old content, and that's not fun. But even the social stuff, like I can't summon up the willpower to want to go find a guild and make another group of online friends that I see once a week and have nothing to say to, and the gameplay's just a loop, and yeah. So Destiny's off for me, no matter how good that shooting is. Did you play the beta?
I did. I played that first level of the beta. I thought I talked about it on here, but it seemed
I was not impressed.
Seemed like more Destiny with possibly more story to it. Yeah, we did talk about it on here, because you got mad at me because... what was it? I was upset that the game wasn't letting me do things, and you told me I should just let the game have it, because I was talking about a Titan Shield guy or something like that, and
right,
letting the NPCs do everything cool. But I'm a big fan of like letting me be involved. Like I don't have to be the best person on the screen, but like communicate to me in that language. It's like I wish I could think of a good example. I didn't come prepared for this argument, but like there are a lot of games where something big and emotional will happen, and it will happen within the mechanics of the game and have you interact with it within the mechanics of the game. Like Brothers, for instance.
Oh, that's such a good game.
Like I think that one's a good example. God, there are a few JRPGs that have done it too, and it's just not coming to me right now. But they'll. I don't know. Anyway,
I wasn't impressed with the level. I mean, it was definitely pretty. Bungie knows how to make a shooter. I'm not questioning any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the level design is boring. I think the enemies are boring and samey. The guns were fine, but nothing spectacular, which I get is the point. They want you to grind for 200 hours to get the super awesome gun.
Ugh.
None of it did it for me. But like you, I hope it's very good because there's a lot of people who are really stoked to go back to it.
You know, if they made it so that my powers could just be on the entire time I was playing, then I would probably be interested in it again. But I don't know. I've had my fill on shooters for a while, so okay.
It'd be great, like if in Dota, there were no more cooldowns. Just take the cooldowns away. It'll be fine.
I mean that's what Warframe is, right? Like you exist on your fucking powers. Like the guns are the side note. But that's part of the appeal to me, at least. Like, let me do cool shit. I don't want to just shoot people with a pistol and an assault rifle the rest of my life. Like, come on.
You sound like some guy like where his buddies are getting mad at him because he's not, he doesn't want to settle down. Guys, I don't want to shoot people in the face with a pistol for the rest of my life. I want to do something important. I'm not
don't
ready.
You think there's something more to life? Someone out there
than emptying someone's fucking head into a wall.
Waiting for you with force powers? I don't know.
All right. We beat that to death. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then, where are we? September 8th. East 8th. I'm going to fuck this name up. Lacrimosa of Dana?
I think Dana. It's all in caps. So it could be Donna. I don't know.
Could be D-A-N-A.
Lacrimosa of Donna. This is Donna. Say hello.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have a bunch of East games, and I haven't played them in years. Probably because they're all for PSP. But
shit, I was hoping you would know something about this. I took a gamble and I lost.
Well, I know what Ease is. I mean, it's a action RPG, more action than the RPG, where it's a side-scrolling kind of Japanese anime look, very swords and magic style thing, and it's or at least the ones I've played have been pretty hardcore, like dungeon crawler style. Like I would compare it to like maybe, well, I want to say original Castlevania, like in the difficulty scale, like. Maybe not quite that hard, but they're hard freaking games from what I played. But
were they isometric at some point?
Maybe it is an isometric game. I might be getting that part wrong.
I own Ys 1 and 2 on Steam, and I think I played 5 minutes of one of them, and I was like, all right, I'm going to come back to this, and then just uninstalled at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably... Well, I say that. I own a bunch of them already, so part of me thinks, oh, no, maybe you should eventually get this, but definitely not on September 8th, though. But I think the Nymph, or the Nymph, I've never actually known where the space goes in his name.
I just thought it was the Nymph.
It probably is, but in my head...
then, comma, imp.
Yeah, in my head it'd been that for a long time. Like I feel
it's like an alternate history, like Victorian drama set in like a demonic hellscape. Like then Imp, a novel by.
But him from the TVGP forums and Discord and all that, I'm pretty sure he's the one who's the big fan of them and got me kind of trying a few of them out, and they weren't bad. But anyway, yeah, I mess up everyone's screen name. However you want me to read it, my brain is not going to interpret that, and I'm not trying to be an asshole or a jerk. Like, there was another guy on the TVGP forums named Driver Adam, right? But it was spelled like Driver Adum. So, like, in my head, it had always been Driver Adum. Like,
you couldn't even have turned it into the cool one and had it be like a Driver Adum.
Oh, man, that would have been cool. I know, it would have been better, and I didn't realize what I was doing until I said it out loud one day and just felt like a complete fucking asshole for it. It's like, damn, that's not it at all.
Yeah, if you're going to fuck it up, at least make the guy sound a little cooler.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. Like, I don't know. My brain just doesn't interpret things right sometimes. Okay, September 12th. I don't know how this got on the list. Oh, right, Jake made the list. NFL 18 for the PS4 XPO.
That is not what that says.
Oh, NHL. I'm sorry.
Huh? Yes.
What's the difference?
Different sport.
What's the difference between F and H? I forget. Like
one
has a
on
ball.
ice.
One is people violently attacking each other.
Nope, that's both of them. Oh. They're exactly the same game. One's on ice.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
all.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm going to pick it up this year. I got NHL 16, 17 on sale at some point and played a little bit of it, and it just wasn't grabbing me the way that like maybe 13 or 14 did. So I don't know. I'm going to come back around into one of my sports years where I spend a good 7 months out of the year just playing Madden or the show or something like that. And it hasn't come back around in the cycle yet. So
What about that
get
Madden?
it, cycle? That's a baseball joke.
What about that Madden single player everyone's talking about?
It's a clever take. I'm going to give it a couple years.
Okay.
It looks very bare bones right now. I'm glad they're doing it because I really like that single player stuff. I've always loved playing career mode in those games. And the 2K series, NBA 2K, is really good at those. I feel like we should probably give EA a year or two to get that right.
Well, people are liking it right now, so I don't know that's been gotten wrong this time, but
What I saw of it was meh.
oh, okay.
To me.
Okay, I don't play the games. I have fuck all how they even work. I remember that time I tried to play 2K and it's like, wait, I have to control the whole basketball team? I'm out.
I do remember that. That was fun. And you don't. You just have to play career mode. But
Well, and I tried. I tried to play the story mode, and that just didn't. I couldn't figure out how
the
to
Spike
do
Lee
anything.
one.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
the problem with career mode in a lot of those games is when you start out, you suck so much. So if you already don't know how to play the game, you're gonna lose by 100 every single game and just want to throw it out. So
yeah. Okay. September 13th, Cook Serve Delicious 2 for PC.
we talked about this last episode.
Good, so we don't have to again.
Yeah, I guess it got pushed back. So
Oh, okay.
that's the whole story.
September 14th, Divinity II Original Sin for PC comes out. It will come out later for the consoles. Divinity II, this is a turn-based tactics open world RPG made by I believe they're an Icelandic developer. I forget their names, but the first one was real popular. I played it a bit and I liked it a lot. I never got back around to it, but this one they have really kind of set down and said, look, we're going to concentrate on doing a co-op style game. So the NPCs in the game are very, very, very detailed. Like they basically assigned a writer to each NPC, and like one of those writers was also Chris Aveline, who comes with every Kickstarter. I don't know if you knew that. It's just a
He's hidden in the box.
Yeah, that's just what Kickstarter offers. It's like, hey, are you doing an RPG? Well, here's Chris Aveline.
Your brother gets to the Kickstarter first and digs into the bottom and pulls out the Chris Aveline, and you're so excited because you're getting your way through the box. And this is the time I'm going to get the Aveline, and you get to the bottom and it's gone.
Yeah, yeah, but
Divinity.
sorry, for a second I thought we were having an earthquake.
I was going to say, is there a ghost in your house? What's going on?
No, just things were shaking a little bit, so I was trying to determine how much of a quake it was, but I don't think it was. I must be crazy.
That's disconcerting.
No, we've got them a lot in Oklahoma over the past couple years.
Fracking, right.
Yeah, very disconcerting. And it's actually, okay, that's a larger conversation. We'll just say it's the deep wastewater wells that are associated with fracking, but same poison, doesn't matter. What are we talking about? Divinity II Original Sin. So, yeah, so I am a Kickstarter backer of this. I backed it on whatever the lowest level was to get a digital copy of the game. I think it was either $15 or $25 or something like that. So the way they've done a lot of really cool things with co-op in that you can start a game with someone, the other person doesn't have to be there. The other person can also do shit in the game when you're gone, and it can kind of change kind of how the world is and whatnot. And the first game was pretty good. Me and Susie played it a bit where like we would just wandered off in opposite directions.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. So the other cool thing about this one is they made a game master mode, like a dungeon master mode.
Ooh, cool.
And they made it evidently to such an extent that it's like they were running like they talked D&D into letting them recreate one of their D&D modules in it, and they were letting some people DM, and evidently like they had just killed everything, and then there was a goblin or something at the top of the cliff, so one of the guys like climbed up there to kill the goblin, and he asked the DM, he's like, can I just throw him off the cliff and kill him? And there wasn't a game mechanic to do that, but the GM mode allowed them to do something to cause that to happen pretty quick and on the fly, which I thought was pretty appealing.
They had to go fight the Frack King.
Jeez.
I mean, it's GM mode. You can put in whatever you want, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And granted, I will probably never get a set of friends to play the GM mode stuff with, but it sounds pretty cool, and I am excited to see what is in there, because like Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2, not the stupid online thing that everyone loves but me, that I've never tried. So
It's
I don't
just
actually know
Neverwinter.
I'm just bitter because it's not Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2.
Oh, you know what? There's on PS4. That was actually another PS Plus benefit that I didn't necessarily feel like bringing up. I guess you get free sort of the stuff you pay real money for. You get a chunk of that this month for Neverwinter. But I didn't ever play it on PS4. I played it on Xbox, so I didn't bother.
Gotcha.
I'm not re-downloading 78 gigs on the fucking PSN of all places just to try that out. So.
Well, and my hope is this is going to be like Neverwinter Nights 2, where you have a huge community making like all these individual kind of mods and play stories and things like that, because it was a pretty robust game as is, and I'm excited to see what it's got in it, even though I'm probably not going to be able to play it when it comes out because I got too much other shit going on, but hopefully I will play it before the end of the year. Man, we got to get this thing moving.
End of the year's coming up, dude.
I got under 3 months left.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus
shit,
Christ.
we got to play all this stuff.
I still got to get back to Torment, man. That's the one that it's tormenting me. Torment is tormenting me. Chris Aveling came with that one too. You know, just proving again, he comes with every Kickstarter.
When you download the thing, it's just a gif of him waving, hello.
I am the creator of Fallout 1 and 2, or whatever he did. Anyway, where are we at? September 15th, we got NBA Live 18 for the Xbox One and PS4, and NBA 2K18 for everything.
Yeah, I think it's on the Switch, PC. The only reason I put these on here is I think it's real ballsy that after however many years in a row that EA has tried to revive NBA Live, and they get up to the finish line and they're like, nope, it's dog shit, throw it out. That they finally decide to actually go through with it one year, and they put it out on the same game in the same goddamn day as this juggernaut of basketball. Like there have been two, wildly popular basketball games in the history of video gaming. One was NBA Jam, and the other is NBA 2K. And they were like, we're coming after you, son. It'll be wonderful to see it go up in flames.
Good luck.
That's the whole thing.
Okay. And then also on September 15th, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider for PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which is a standalone expansion.
That trailer sure looks neat at E3.
I haven't watched it yet. That's one of those game franchises I'd really like to get into, and I just don't know when that will happen.
Dishonored 2 is sitting in my Steam library. It's all installed. It's ready to go. I played about halfway through the first mission. I was like, God, I wish I loved this game.
I still got to play the first one. I got that and all the DLC, so... Like, I started it once and then stopped. I don't even think I got my teleporting power, but maybe I did. Anyway. So, on to movies. It is September 8th.
Looks... I don't know... Did you know that Tim Curry had a stroke, like, in 2011?
I did not.
I've been playing a bunch of Dota, and I was trying to figure out if I could make a Tim Courier joke, because there's a courier in Dota. And I was looking him up, and, like, he's in a wheelchair in all these pictures. I'm like, what the fuck happened to Tim Curry? And I guess he had a stroke. It's fucked up.
And that sucks.
Yeah. So as campy as that 80s miniseries is, and as bad as some of the acting is, I still have a very special place in my heart for that movie, and I'm sure if I went back to it and watched it now, I'd be like, whoa, this is dog shit. But, man, I just... All the effects and stuff in this new one look cool, and the design of Pennywise looks, a 7 out of 10. I don't know if there's room in my heart for it.
I started reading the book actually. So I am, according to my Kindle, I'm 11% of the way through the book. So I should be ready
Did your
to.
Kindle, did your Kindle actually get heavier when you downloaded it?
I don't know, but my eyes sure get heavier whenever I read it. No, I'm kind of enjoying it so far, but so far it's just been a bunch of like short story hype man things. Like they're hyping you up for it, and it's still going on it. Like they haven't started the actual story yet, but
I want to say that paperback was probably 700 to 800 pages.
probably.
It had to be.
Well,
Because he's telling two full novels.
yeah,
You know, jumps back between quote unquote modern day and then 30 years prior, and they're both full length. Like, that's a lot to get through.
yeah.
I hope it'll be fine.
I hope I finish it. The movie, I think the movie looks real good. I'm worried about the little kid actors, particularly the one that's supposed to be creepy. But I also think it's going to be one of those kind of thriller experiences where, like, if you buy into what it's selling, it's going to be good, and if you don't buy into it, it's going to be a goofy piece of shit. Like, you know, a lot of horror and like thrillers kind of dance that line where if you just don't grab on to the thing that's creeping you out, like that is creeping everyone out by it, and you just decide to laugh at it, then the whole thing kind of falls apart. So.
Well, I guess what grabbed me about the original, I mean, let's be honest, it's Tim Curry. He's the best piece of that movie. He almost played Pennywise like he was the Joker, except much more, evil and sort of progenitor. Is that the word I'm looking for? Malevolent. And it looks like they're just going for creepy clown in this one, and that worries me because like the best part about that movie was that you could have this super, super evil creature dressed up like a clown and actually act like a clown, and that made it so much worse because he's laughing and smiling and doing clowny shit. And I don't know that they're going for that angle in this new one. And I guess that's the piece I'm waiting to see that's not in any of the trailers.
Well, like straight up, the whole Pennywise in the gutter thing, like that is straight out of the book. Like that is one of the first scenes in the book. And
it is.
Have you read the book?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I was 13, which is really weird. We've had this conversation before. Okay. It ends with an orgy between all the kids. And not an orgy, they just run a train on the girl, Beverly, I believe. Which, when you're 13 and the characters are 13, doesn't seem as weird as when you think about it at 34. But yeah, I mean, that piece was in the book. It's an iconic scene in the book and the original movie. But that's not a scene where he's being all goofy and Krusty the Clown. He does that at points in the movie, and it's so good. So I hope they bring it over here instead of just trying to go straight, Saw-ish, menacing over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hope.
We'll find out. Or at least everyone else will find out, and I'll find out in a month or so when I finish. I say this is Labor Day weekend, so maybe I can spend a day reading it. I think it told me I had, like Amazon thinks it'll take me 30 hours to read the book, and I feel like Amazon's done its math wrong and doesn't realize it's going to take me like 80 hours.
You could, if you were dedicated, you could do it in 30 hours. But then again, I read an entire Harry Potter book in an afternoon one Saturday. So
yeah, but that's not. I mean, come on. Stephen King wrote for a more like I've had to look up a couple words in the dictionary reading it. Like Harry Potter.
Oh, but fucking Hufflepuff, just your eyes just gloss right over Hufflepuff like it's a real word.
Look, you can that's just shit that's made up. Like you don't look that up in the dictionary. They explain it. Like Harry Potter's like a very basic, like it's a low reading level, right? Like there's some.
I don't think Slytherin has any vowels in it, dude. It's not a quick.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
yeah, it's an easy read, but it's not like your eyes can just glance over words and be like, oh yeah, Magoober.
You are arguing made up fantasy words against real words that are in the dictionary. But okay, I see your point, but I don't necessarily agree. But all I'm saying is unless you're reading like Deathly Hallows or something like that, you could probably finish most of the Harry Potter books in a day or two.
So I'm gonna be interested to see what you think when you get to the end of it, because boy, that thing takes a weird fucking turn.
Stephen King's not great at endings. Like I feel like that's pretty well established, isn't it?
Oh yeah, a lot of times it's aliens or it was just always aliens. This one is especially weird.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know it's a Dark Tower crossover thing, so
Well, now it is.
I assume the end of it is. I mean, they've already brought up the turtle, so I mean that's a Dark Tower reference.
Yeah, but I don't think he wrote it by itself, and I think retconned it back into the Dark Tower afterwards. It was a standalone thing. He retconned it in Dark Tower later.
I am sure he retconned in all of his novels into Dark
Yeah.
Tower. Like, there's no doubt about that.
So, like, when you're reading it, understand that this was his vision for this thing.
Okay.
It's fucked up.
Um,
Can I read this next one?
yeah.
Because it's just a throwaway. Same day as it comes out, there's 2 movies called Fallen. So one is a documentary about police officers who were killed in the line of duty. I'm sure it's politically motivated and probably heavy-handed. And the other is based on a young adult series about a teenage girl who's in a love triangle with 2 fallen angels who have, quote, lusted after her for generations. And I love the idea of people going into the wrong theater all weekend and coming out super pissed to yell at an usher.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What if shit, I can't think of the thing with the vamp Twilight. What if Twilight was also the name of I don't know, The Purge? Like The Purge was the name of both these series. Like, and you go in and you're like, wow, I did not see that shit coming. Like, Bella got home invaded and died in the first 20 minutes. Like, where's the werewolves?
Yeah. That'd be funny.
It might be worth it to buy a ticket just to stand in the lobby on Friday night.
So let's speed this up so we can get to what we've actually been doing. So on TV, September 5th, we have American Horror Story Cult on FX.
Been a lot of commercials about bees for that on football, so we'll see where that goes.
Okay. And then on September 6th, September 10th, the Orville on Fox.
Do you know what this is?
No.
This is the Seth MacFarlane live-action Star Trek parody.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a movie. I didn't realize it was a TV show.
This shit's going to be on every week. Fox is eventually just going to be the Seth MacFarlane channel on Sundays.
Okay.
I could give a fuck.
I can't imagine, like, it didn't look all that great to me, I gotta be honest. Like, he has not had a good live-action track record.
The guy is a funny dude and comes up with funny jokes, but I'm burnt out on Seth MacFarlane. Like, he's been essentially all over Fox for 3 hours a week since, 2003? Like, best of luck to him. He's probably the richest guy in entertainment, but I've sort of had enough of him.
Then on streaming, September 1st, we have Final Fantasy XIV, Dad of Light, which, as we discovered before the cast, is a documentary about a dad and his son reconnecting while playing Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, everyone's super upset that it used to be called Daddy of Light and is now changed over.
But I guess it already debuted in Japan back in July or something like that. So September 8th, BoJack Horseman, Season 4.
I like BoJack. I like they get a lot of great talent to come in and do voiceovers. There's a lot of great sight gags in that show. I feel like I'm not ready to be depressed for 13 episodes just right now.
You see, and that's why I've never watched the show, because that is what everyone says about BoJack, is how utterly depressing it is. So, I don't know. Someday I may check it out, but...
Dimebag in chat is asking, was Final Fantasy XIV good? That was the MMO.
Yeah.
So it's still going. I played a free trial of it and wasn't super impressed, but the people who like it love it.
Yeah, Mina on Picking Up the Pixels really, really, really loves Final Fantasy XIV. I have a friend in town named Matt who was on Tiltcast a few times, and he's adores the game as well. Like there's a lot of fan service in that. Like fan service is in. Look, I'm sure there's boobs in it too, but like fan service is in like callbacks to the Final Fantasy
boobs
series.
As fan service.
Well, that's what people think you mean when you say fan service nowadays. Is that you're talking about fucking skimpy outfits? It's really frustrating.
I don't I don't know that's true.
Any anime.
I always think of it as inside jokes and callbacks.
Well, that's what it should mean. Is like inside jokes, callbacks, like tributes to something, right? Like, oh, the fans really wanted to see this happen or this happen, and like now it just means, oh man, that thing had bad fan service in it, and that just means, oh, there are a lot of scantily clad women in it, which it's Final Fantasy, so yeah, probably, but no, like they have like Final Fantasy, like every Final Fantasy entry has like equipment and enemy types and shit like that in the game. So like my understanding is you can even get like one of those mechs from 6 or something like that.
And it's come a long way since they launched. I mean, they re-released the game to fix the broken first version, and from what I understand, it's been getting better ever since. So,
and then September 15th, American Vandal on Netflix. Let's see, you wrote the true.
Yeah, so this is a true crime parody. So think of like Making a Murderer or the whole O.J. Simpson thing that I forget the title of. Like, it is one of these miniseries, except the crime in question is a bunch of kids at a high school who drew a bunch of dicks on their teachers' cars one day. And that's the whole thing, and I mean, it's a parody. But this thing's like 6-8 episodes long, so they are really, really going for it. I'll give it a chance. It's a funny idea.
Do you know who's behind it at all? Like any of the people?
I know some of the actors. I don't know. I know I saw who came up with it or was behind it, but I did not bother to write it down.
Okay, well, don't worry about it.
I can do a quick search for it.
Yeah, it don't matter. So, all right, we have news stories.
Oh, this is just a real quick one. So as you all know, Hurricane Harvey just really beat the hell out of Houston recently. And the Games Done Quick people are doing a stream this weekend. It's the 1st through, I believe, the 3rd here of September. So it'll be probably halfway done by the time you hear this. They're doing a stream. It's all remote stuff, people streaming stuff from their house, but they're doing a marathon. Watch those. Those are always great. And if you can give, please give. Those people need some help right now. So.
Yeah, there are lots and lots of places you can give for them too. Like even Facebook is a default thing to do it, and I'm sure they need plenty of volunteers down there. Houston is a very large city. Okay, so it looks like we both watched The Defenders.
I'm going to let you take the reins on this one because I'm sure you watched a lot more than I did.
It's only 8 episodes.
If you watched all of them, you watched a lot more than I did.
So I watched the whole thing. I did my usual take the day off and watched the Marvel series. I had kind of low expectations for this after Iron Fist. I think it did a decent job in making me feel like I'm willing, like it made me, like I might give Iron Fist season 2 a chance. Like I feel like they've fixed the character.
That's not the next one up in the rotation, is it?
No. Punisher comes out, I think, later this year.
Okay.
So it'll be Punisher this year, and then I don't know what's next year. Jessica Jones season 2, and maybe Luke Cage season 2, and then I think Daredevil season 3 is after that. So, but overall it's kind of an average series. Like they have a lot of fun character moments, but the overall plot is kind of dumb. I think Sigourney Weaver does good. I think Elektra...
From what I saw, she did great, but she didn't have much to work with.
Yeah. The dialogue's, like, whoever wrote the script is fucking horrible. Like, like, these actors did really good with some of the worst written dialogue, like, and I don't know why it was so apparent to me. I guess the illusion wasn't there to hold it up. But there are a couple particular moments I want to critique. One, there's a scene where they're holed up in a Chinese restaurant and another character somewhere else in the town. Every time you're in the Chinese restaurant, it looks like there is sunlight coming through the fucking window. And every time you're with the other character, it's nighttime. And it drove me mad. And like I knew they were just trying to say it was street lights or something else out front, but man, it just looked like sunlight every single time.
And maybe they were in like Shanghai and like Mexico City or something.
I don't know. I mean, not Hell's Kitchen in New York like they're supposed to be, evidently. But the other scene that drove me crazy is there's this moment that had a lot of articles written about it where Luke Cage chews out Iron Fist for white privilege, which was a very moving speech. God knows Iron Fist deserved to be chewed out for many things. This particular time was Iron Fist grabbed a young man to hit and extract information out of him, and Luke Cage got upset with it because that happened to be the young man that he was trying to help reform his life, right?
Oh.
So the thing is, Iron Fist, the build up to this moment is Iron Fist walks into a room. There are a bunch of corpses everywhere that had been obviously killed and decimated by swords, right?
Okay, I gotta be an asshole. Unless they've taken 10% of everyone with the swords, then decimated is not the right word.
Whatever. So
it's a pet peeve. It drives me nuts.
Okay. Point taken. But it doesn't matter. They're a bunch of corpses, right? And then they hear some people coming, and they go and they hide, and a bunch of people walk in with hazmat suits and start spraying the corpses down with some type of acid that immediately starts melting them. The kid that Iron Fist grabbed to punch is one of the people in a hazmat suit melting the corpses with acid. Like,
it seems weird that they would walk in these hazmat suits, look around, see, yeah, maybe a guy they don't know. Maybe his fist is glowing, maybe it's not.
No, he was hiding.
Was Luke Cage also hiding? Because he is the single most recognizable person in that neighborhood, and they've established that.
Luke Cage doesn't show up till the very end, right? So They start doing that, and then, I don't know, something happens, and Iron Fist and Colleen Wing start fighting them all. And then he grabs, like, one of them, like, they've knocked all the others out, and then one of them's running outside, and Iron Fist goes after him, grabs him, puts him against the wall, takes off his mask, and, like, it's shot and moved very much like a typical trope of good guy puts the bad guy on the wall and starts asking him about his bosses, right? And you think that's what's going to happen, and then Luke Cage comes and gets in a fight with Iron Fist over it, because that was the young dude. And then, later Luke Cage chews Iron Fist out for white privilege for wanting to beat the crap out of someone who is in a hazmat suit spraying corpses that have been killed by katanas with acid. But, I've also realized too, because at the moment this drove me mad when I saw it, but since then I've come to realize that maybe this isn't reality. Maybe that is the
What tipped you off?
Well, maybe this is the Marvel Universe job for down on your luck teen can't get a job somewhere else, so he takes a job at the local Ninja corpse melty place.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. Oh, by the way, just a quick update. The Browns now got a safety. It is 12-0. Great. It's going to be a good year here in Chicago. The thing that I just can't deal with, and I couldn't deal with it in Season 2 of Daredevil, in Iron Fist, in the 3 episodes I watched, because I see where it's going. Ninjas, man. Ninjas are boring. Like, I know that's a controversial thing to say on the internet, but fuck, ninjas are boring.
I don't think ninjas are boring. I just think they made ninjas boring.
Because I'm gonna give Punisher a try. But as I've said all along on these, it's about the antagonist, and it was great when it was Kingpin, and it was great when it was Purple Man, and Sigourney Weaver. God bless her, she tried, but that character doesn't seem interesting. I'm gonna give Punisher a chance, and if that's no good, and John. I always forget his last name. John, the actor who plays Punisher.
Oh, I don't remember his name at the moment.
You always remember his name for me.
Ah, man. John Bernthal.
Thank you. If he has a very good shot at moving me through that, bringing me through that series and keeping me involved, but man, if there are not good antagonists... I mean, honestly, it'll probably be Fisk, right? Because they already have a prior relationship. He's going to be involved at some point. That would be awesome. Vincent D'Onofrio was amazing in that role.
I wouldn't get your hopes up for that. Like,
no?
They should have brought Fisk back for the Defenders, right? Like, that should have been the shoe-in. They have him set up in prison as a kingpin. Just have him get out. Go after some people. Like...
Right, that's the best part of doing team-ups is you can have multiple villains, and it doesn't seem silly.
Yeah. But I
So
mean,
I'm hoping John Bernthal will pull me through that, but if not, I think I might be done with these Marvel series.
I wouldn't blame you. I mean, Iron Fist was bad. That was Iron Fist is the series I got. I thought it was average when I saw it. It has gotten progressively worse in my head. Like the more I think about it. But I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine they can drag out the hand too much longer. But I mean, Iron Fist season 2. I mean, it's going to be Madame Gao again, and it's going to be the I don't remember the character's name, but you know, it'll be that short dude that was supposed to get the Iron Fisty powers, and he'll get the powers that eats the immortal weapons or whatever it is, and they'll have their storyline there. If we're lucky, they'll do the fucking big martial arts competition storyline that that one comic book did.
Mortal Kombat? Injustice?
It's pretty much those storylines, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Defenders was average. I think it's okay. I think it's better than Iron Fist. I think there are a lot of fun moments in it. There is, honestly, man, I just want to talk about like the last episode and spoilers, because there's one scene that happens, and I found many people had the same reaction to me, which was you cheered for a main character's misfortune because you knew it would lead to a comic book similarity. So
Danny Rand gets his dick cut off.
no, that's not it at all.
No?
But
He did get his dick cut off in the comics, right?
no. What are you talking?
Oh, I could have sworn. So I think we're done on Defenders, right? Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing more to defend on it.
Okay. I don't know that what I saw that there is anything to, but I've been watching The Good Place because it's finally on Netflix. I didn't think it was actually ever going to make it to Netflix because all these major companies, these major broadcasters, are all trying to do their own streaming, or they're partnering up with a company that I don't have, or streaming service that I don't pay. But it's on Netflix, and man, that is an awesome show. Have you ever watched any of this, John?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's got a bunch of really, really good actors in it, and the only one I can ever name is Ted Danson, which is a shame because I really like the main character. She's a blonde lady. She's a name that everybody but me can just pick right off the top of your head, and I can never remember the name of it. But the concept of the show, Kristen Bell. There you go.
Oh, okay. I like Kristen Bell.
Oh, she's super funny. The concept of the show is Kristen Bell wakes up or just comes to consciousness, and she's in this office with Ted Danson sitting across from her on this big desk. And she finds out that she died, and she is in, quote-unquote, the good place. And Ted Danson is the guy who runs this. It's a little, utopia. It's a small town where you can get whatever you want, and there's, 4 froyo shops, and if you want a puppy, you can just ask for a puppy, and the puppy shows up. And it's just, everything is perfect, and everyone is wonderful. They're really good people. They spent all their time, fighting disease in Africa, and their other 3 months a year raising money in Africa, or for Africa. Just world, top 1% of 1% good people that have been born. And you find out through the course of the pilot that she ain't supposed to be there because she was a real shithead. And just has like the same name of the person who's supposed to be there who did all these wonderful things. And the writing is so good. It's not a sitcom, which I think is one of those things that brings down a lot of good concepts. There's not really much of a soundtrack per se. There's obviously not a laugh track because it's 2017. It's got a consistent plot that goes from show to show, which I really like. I wish more comedies would do that, where it's not just here's your episode of the week and then we get back to square one. So I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. It's got a lot of good hooks. The delivery on a lot of the lines. I mean, I don't think I've laughed out loud that many times watching 4 episodes of a show. I can't remember the last time. It's very genuinely good. The production values are good. I think it's NBC, ABC, CBS. One of them. It's super good. You should watch it. Give that pilot a shot. I think they're all maybe half an hour. They might be 44 minutes. But watch that whole first pilot, and if you're not hooked, I will be very surprised.
Well, okay.
Definitely worth a watch. Did you So The Tick came out on Amazon Prime last week. Did you watch any of that?
I have not yet.
It's pretty good. That one was surprising in how short those episodes were. Those are definitely 22 minutes. And I think it's 6 episodes long. I was worried that Peter, is it Stefanowitz? Is that the name of the actor who's playing the Tick these days?
The guy who says a-hole in the Guardians trailer. That's who I know him by. I don't know.
I think it's Peter Stefanowitz, and if I'm completely wrong, I will do a I am full of shit next episode. He's very good. He's not trying to impersonate the guy who did the voice in the cartoon. He's not trying to impersonate Patrick Warburton. He's got his own take on the Tick, but still has that gleeful sort of, just gleeful ignorance, but he's so hyped about everything. And like they got the character right. They address the is he real, is he a figment of Arthur's imagination pretty quick in the story, which I think is good. I really wanted it to go one way, and in retrospect, I'm glad they did it the way they did it, and I'm glad they sorted that out early, because it really let the story kind of shine on its own. There's some real fun characters that are in this, supervillains. There's a woman named Lint. She's got electric powers, and she can shoot people with electricity. But consequently, that means she's got a lot of static electricity, so she's forever just collecting lint and dust out of the air. It's very. I mean, it sounds dumb. It sounds like all the Tick stuff. Chairface Chippendale sounds dumb until you see what they do with it, and it works. It's funny. Arthur's suit stuff is kind of so the moth suit is sort of the MacGuffin of the whole plot. And I don't know that they treat that very well. That's kind of the only thing I didn't like. But the jokes are great, and the writers get it. It's good. It's worth a watch, and it's super quick. You can get done with it in an afternoon.
So real quick, Dimebag in chat asks, did you guys see Death Note? I did watch Death Note. Jake obviously didn't because he hates anime, but
I turned it on as I was going to bed one night. And I was like, let's see how long I stay up. And I don't think I got 3 minutes into it.
So, like, Death Note has almost nothing in common with the anime. Like, they changed the rules of the Death Note. Light is nothing like either his Japanese live-action counterpart or his anime counterpart. And I've never read the manga, although my understanding is that's the best version of the story. Which is not always the case, but and then Misa, what's her name in this show? I forgot what they renamed her to. It doesn't matter. Whatever. So she's 1,000% different. Like, she's nothing like her regular, any of her versions. She is, like, it seemed like the writers wanted to make her a sociopath, but kind of lost their balls in it and didn't.
Like Danny Rand.
So... I don't think they had any idea what to do with Danny Rand. But it's really just kind of an average blah movie. Like, there's not... Light is kind of an idiot through 90% of the movie. Like, the only scheme he comes up with anywhere near the comics is the last one. Willem Dafoe is... I kind of wish they just put Willem Dafoe in makeup on set, honestly, because he already has a weird face that I think would have lended itself to Ryuk's makeup. But I
did get into. I think I fast forwarded to the middle of the movie just because I was like, I want to see this scene with Willem Dafoe, and he looked pretty cool and sounded awesome.
Yeah, when Light first sees Ryuk, like, he screams for like a good solid, like, 60 seconds. Like,
what?
Like, high pitch scream, let me out of the room. Like, it is... And they don't play it for laughs either. Like, they're trying to have you take the moment seriously. Like, he's really afraid for his life and decided to do that high pitched scream. Like it's
Is Ryuk just sitting in the corner watching him do this the whole time? Like, do they keep cutting to shots of him just like boringly staring at this kid freaking out?
yeah. You don't get very many dead on shots of Ryuk. Most of the time, he's just standing in the background in shadow. So, like you can barely see him when Light starts freaking out. Um,
The scene I saw that he was in, he was like in a corner, perched up like on a bench or something. And that weird thing where you put your hands down between your feet.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's, I don't know. The movie's, it's not very good. It doesn't have much to do with any of the source material. There's very little depth to it. The guy who plays L, I think, had probably, like, he seemed like he might have actually been excited about the role, because he had obviously watched at least the anime, because he was doing a similar kind of delivery.
Well, Christ, one would hope.
But, like, you know, you can't, he could only do so much with that role, you know, so no one's going to think he's good in it because he's in a bad movie with bad dialogue and a bad plot line. Like, it's not great.
It's got the trifecta.
Yeah, but anyways, that's my 2 cents on Death Note. Like, you could just see it out of morbid curiosity, but I'd really recommend you just go find the Japanese live action movies, which are, I think, actually pretty good. But
It's a weird concept. That's about the nicest thing I have to say about what I've seen of it.
well, you know, it should be this big philosophical argument thriller. You know, like Death Note at its core is kind of a, you know, what is justice, what is right, what is, you know, and your protagonist is a fucking mass murderer who is a tyrant. You know, like
It's a great question. What would you do if you could kill anyone with minimal effort and no danger?
yeah. And I don't know. They did a I forgot what YouTube channel I was watching recently, but they did a really good dissection on I think it was Wisecrack. I think they did a good Death Note anime dissection. I think that was pretty good to watch. Like, I think that can, like, if you don't like Death Note or the anime, you could watch that Wisecrack video and get an idea of why people like Death Note. But well, okay, that's part of why. The other part is the ridiculousness, as you will see by, like, the Polygon chip scene article. Because in the anime they have this scene where he's, you know, L thinks that Light is Kira, you know, the guy killing everyone. So they're trying to prove it, and so what L does, like, L has cameras set up in Light's room, and Light acts like he doesn't notice them. And so what he does is he puts a little TV inside a bag of chips, so he can watch the news and look like he's doing his homework while he's eating chips. And it's this big, like, really dramatic, like, I almost want to say they have, like, opera music or something like that in the background where he's, like, picking up chips and eating it and writing someone else's name down, and it's really ridiculous.
So when he reaches into the bag, like there's no chips in there, he's got the TV in there. Is he reaching in to just keep the charade up? Is he changing channels? Is it a literal chip tune?
He doesn't run out of chips. But yes, I would say...
Well, there's your superpower right there. Fuck the book.
I would say that it is a chip tune, since he's eating chips. But anyway, so the reason I didn't watch The Tick was because I said, fuck it, I want to see American Gods. So I signed up for the free week of Starz on Amazon Prime. Which I probably have to cancel that tonight, actually. So,
That's how they get you.
yeah, because Friday is 7 days, and I don't want to pay them $8 a month for their, like, there's barely anything
like the fucking
on this
Ring.
channel. But anyway, so American Gods is really fucking good. It's the showrunner for it is Brian Fuller. He's the guy who did Pushing Daisies and Hannibal and Dead Like Me, I think. I could be wrong on that one. But anyway, American Gods is based on a book by Neil Gaiman, where the idea is that gods are these things that are created by people believing in them, and whenever immigrants started coming to America, they started bringing all their gods with them too. So you have all these very diverse selection of gods kind of just barely making it by in America because no one believes in them anymore. So, like, you have the main character, his name is Shadow. He is not one of those gods. But basically, the show starts when he gets out of prison, and like the first couple episodes, I haven't read the book in 15 years. From what I remember of the book, the first couple of episodes are very much like the book, in my opinion. But I could be wrong because I haven't read it in so long.
It's a very cool concept. I would really like to watch that show. I just, I keep wanting to. My HBO subscription expired right before the the second to last episode of this season of Game of Thrones. And it's like, fuck, they're gonna get me back. They're gonna get me for a month because I'm already getting spoiled on the last 2 episodes. I want to watch them before they're completely destroyed, and I can't bring myself to start that mess over with Starz because I feel burned by the last time I did this. But man, it seems like a cool show.
Starz, well, and it's only 8 episodes, so that was kind of disappointing. Because it got to the end, I'm like, okay, this is it. Okay.
How long was the series when? It was a graphic novel, right? It wasn't like a long-running series, was it?
Right. No, it's a pretty healthy sized graphic novel. It's probably 400 or 500 pages.
Oh wow.
It's and the graphic novel does a lot of word trickery too, where they will name their gods, like by using different words that make kind of the same sound, and you won't realize it's them because you haven't said that word aloud. So at the very okay, I won't give that away because I wanted to fool. Honestly, what I said right now might already put everyone on their guard enough where if you haven't read the book, you'll pick up on it. But let's just say in the show, those characters don't get their names said out loud. But I really liked the show. It's borderline pornographic though, so just word of warning.
So about how far through the graphic novel's material did they get through?
After the first couple episodes, they kind of just started doing their own thing.
Okay. That's usually the right way to go.
Yeah.
Unless you're Zack Snyder.
I'm pretty sure they diverged pretty heavily. So I don't know. I mean, the Harry Potter movies I thought were good, but I still wouldn't mind seeing a Harry Potter TV show where they went through a lot more of the other elements in the books. But anyway, I really like the show. I recommend it. I think it's a good soundtrack. It has real good cinematography. But if you're familiar with Brian Fuller, you'll know that he always gets these really good, kind of whimsical looks to things. And he does this really cool kind of cheap neon thing to the show too, to make you feel like everything's kind of just a little bit sleazy. But anywho, so that's all I got.
So real quick, I did look up who was involved with making that American Vandal series. I don't know if you're going to recognize any of these names or if I'm saying them right. It looks like Tony Yacenda, Dan Perrault. The showrunner is going to be Dan Lagana. I guess there's been some folks for Funny or Die that are involved with this. I've never heard any of these people.
So I have no idea based on... I was hoping it would be like... What I was really hoping is that it would be Chris Kattan and that guy from Oklahoma's name that I never can remember that is in Saturday Night Live.
Are you just trying to put together a string of words that nobody has ever said before? Is that what you're trying to do here?
Bill Hader. Bill Hader.
I want it to be Chris Kattan and that guy from Oklahoma said, is that, if we're playing Jeopardy, the beep beep, what is what you say when you see there was a car crash?
Oh,
correct.
Fuck.
Select again.
It's not, I'm sorry, it's not Chris Kattan. It's the guy from Portlandia. I don't know how I got those two confused.
Okay.
Whatever that guy's name is. It's those two. They just did a real funny I've talked on it several times. But I secretly hope they had another really funny documentary series because they were so fucking good at documentary now. But anyway, so let's wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up.
Ah, man.
Get wrapping.
Yeah, we got... Oh, well, maybe we never had that. Okay, so before I forget, we started a Discord. So come hang out in the Discord. I think we posted a link on our... Twitter, and I know I did one on Facebook. I know at first I was posting links that expired because I didn't know any better, but if you went in, just send me a message somewhere, and I will make sure you get a link if one of those don't work. But come in and hang out and bullshit with us. It'll be fun.
Yeah, there's been one or two people who've been kind of not when they got in. They were like, I was not expecting this to be this. It's not really a forum. It's sort of a just ongoing chat room. You can leave notifications on, turn notifications off, all that stuff. We got a bunch of different categories. So in that sense, it is sort of like a forum where you can post stuff in different rooms. But there's voice chat that I don't think I'll ever use. But if you're playing games with folks, you can use that voice chat to, like say you had a Switch and didn't want to go through their bullshit, you could just do it through Discord.
Yeah,
so
that's true. So
come listen to my come read my bad jokes all week.
Yeah, well, and like I joined the TVGP and BMF Cast 1, and it's been fun being in there with those guys. Like, the BMF Cast, they came up with snazzy names for all their topics, and they have a pretty active community and such. And the TVGP thing has been really great for my Marvel Puzzle Quest addiction. So, I don't know. It's really easy to swap between them all, so I think it's fun. What are we doing? Right, so visit the website at thecarouselpodcast.com. Send us emails at carouselpodcast@gmail.com. By the way, if enough people get active in the Discord, then we'll probably just move questions to there.
Yeah, we could set up another room real easy.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at Carousel Podcast. Join us every other Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Central Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/Carousel Podcast. And Jake, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me this week. You know what? I think I am going to set up that questions channel in the Discord once we're done here. That's super easy to do, and I think that's a great idea. You're very smart, John.
It worked out really well for TVGP, so we'll see. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next turn.
Bye, guys.
Okay, titles, which I didn't write down a single one.
There's a shocker. So you're going to read them off then.
Okay.
You're going to tell me which one you like. And because I wrote them all, I guess we're just going to take whatever you think is funniest.
Okay. Dating Similars. Get Knackered. Say Hello to Donna. When the fuck did we say that?
It was when we were trying to figure out that East title.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. The Frack King. Boobs as fan service. The Rules of the Death Note.
I feel like there's three possibles here. I feel like there's probably a clear winner, but maybe it might get some competition from one other.
I like the Frack King the best, I think.
I think Get Knackered is very, very punchy. I think the Rules of the Death Note is very funny, especially because you said it exactly like that. But yeah, that Frack King is probably the winner here.
Okay. I don't get the joke on the Rules of the Death Note, but okay.
It's like the rules of the road. Like you have to take your Death Note test, and you get the pamphlet ahead of time, and then you got to go to the DMV, except here it stands for Death Note. Now
I want to see where you work at DMV. But okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining us live, Dimebag, and we're going to get out of here. Later. I'm sleepy. I'm sorry.